All right, so welcome to week 4 of the WebCenter All-In Accountability Challenge and Program. Up to this point, we have really focused on the basics in terms of how you can succeed as a WebCenter owner if you're just getting started or if you're a veteran in just taking action, identifying where you're at, what you need to improve, and then ready, fire, aim. I think a lot of people, it's kind of like ready, aim, 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 and they never fire. And the problem is that if you do that, you're not going to hit anything, right? You're not going to hit a goal. If you do that, you're not going to hit a target. So sometimes we have to ready, fire, then aim, right? Ready, fire, and then measure, come back, and then improve. You'll find that if you are an archer, or if you're doing, throwing darts, or I don't know, cornhole, anything, it takes a couple throws to get in the zone, and you might have to tweak some things. You might have to compensate, and then you realize you overcompensated. But it's only through trial and error and experience that you'll know what to do. But if you're someone who's like, ready, aim, 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 aim. All right, let me rewrite my candidate list. Okay, I've got a candidate list of 100, but they've been on my list for so long, I'm going to write a new candidate list. Okay, well, I misspelled someone's name, so I'm going to write it on a new, fresh, clean piece of paper. And oh, well, my handwriting is messy, so I'm gonna type it out. I'm gonna put it on a spreadsheet, and then I'm gonna print it out. And then I made a mark on it, or I made an error, so I'm gonna go back to the spreadsheet, and I'm gonna focus on the candidate list, and then write notes. I'm gonna make sure that I write lots of copious notes on each candidate so that I know everything about this business. I'm going to do so much research that they're going to be salivating and wanting to hear what I have to say when I contact them. So let me make sure that I know when they started their business, when they broke even in their business, when they had their first customer. No. Ready, fire, aim. Candidate list, some brief research, and contact them, right? Contact them and then move forward. Either move them through the process or leave a message and then move on to the next candidate. So part of this is just kind of having some thick skin and just kind of going through the numbers and realizing that rejection is not about you, and failure is not a bad thing. Failure is actually a good thing. It means that you're taking action and you're going to learn from that failure as a way to improve. And I know the analogy is like a baby learning to walk. The baby doesn't like try to stand and then fall over and say, nope, that's it, I tried it, I'm never walking ever again. Right? I'm sure the first time you did anything, you didn't succeed out of the gates, and you didn't learn everything about your job on the first day. You learned it as you went. And why were you willing to do that? Because there was a result you were looking for. It was a paycheck, and you were being held accountable, because if you didn't do your job, you were going to be fired. And you had some mentorship and some coaching by your hiring manager or a colleague or something, so you felt safe. We're trying to replicate that here, so you have a safe environment to basically get out of your own way. Okay, so everything is a process. And I like to say that it's all about progress, not perfection. We know you're not going to be perfect, right? There's not one person that is perfect in this. There are some great web center owners, but there's no one that is perfect at it, right? Why? Because we're dealing with people, right? We're dealing with people, and people aren't perfect, right? So, and timing. And timing isn't always perfect. So again, coming back to commitment, you made a commitment to this program. We're in our 4th week. And if you haven't really gotten out of your own way to take action, then this is the week to do it and step out of that comfort zone and really just see what you're made of. And I commend you for those that have been hovering and maybe taking a little bit, you maybe stepping your foot into the water a little bit, but I'm telling you, jump in, the water's fine. Jump in. Right? Just go ahead and contact those candidates, and you'll be well on your way, and you'll have success stories like we were just reading earlier. So part of this is also realizing that it's not going to be on the first call that success awaits. Okay, you need to have a follow-up strategy. It's like I like to say, I know this is a chessboard, but I like to say it's like lining up dominoes. Right? You're lining up a bunch of dominoes in place, and you're continuing to add more dominoes so that when one domino falls, boom, timing happens and everything is much easier. Another analogy is pushing a boulder uphill. What happens if you stop pushing halfway up? You're going to get crushed. That boulder, it's going to take more effort to stay stagnant and still where you're at than it is to just retreat, get out of the way, or have the boulder crush you. Right? However, if you've got some momentum and you're pushing, you got to keep pushing. And once you get to the top of that mountain, all it takes is one little tap down to the other side, and that ride is worth it. right? That ride is worth it, but you don't want to stop halfway up. So part of that process is the follow-up process, that follow-up strategy, every single step of the way. So let's talk about some follow-up basics. Now, I will tell you that the better job you do with certain items that we've talked about, the less follow-up you need to do. And one of those things is setting quality appointments, right? If you're just knocking on doors and cold calling a list, you've got no relationship, no rapport, no reason, or no real skin in the game, so to speak, and that business owner doesn't, it's going to be a long process, right? If you're not doing the consultation process, right, and you're just booking a website demonstration, you're going to go through a lot of website demos before you can really kind of fine tune that. Right? Even if the consultation is part of the confirmation process, you still want to have those consultation calls because you're data mining, you're asking the business owner what's most important to them. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'm going to have a conversation and I'll remember it all. You can't possibly. If you're reaching out to even just one candidate a week, at the end of a year, that's 52 candidates. You can't possibly remember everything about that candidate on month one. Right? So you need to take notes. You need to write everything down. You've got those consultation sheets as a way to take notes so that you can follow up, put it in a file folder, store it online, whatever you need to do, because it helps you make a contact record that you can stay in touch and pick up where you left off. Another problem is that you might have a great conversation. You might even have a great consultation, and you're going through and you're like, wow, this is a slam dunk. They need our solution. They're excited about the appointment. They're excited about a demonstration. They need 2 or 3 different things that we're going to present to them. They are motivated, ready to buy, and they are excited. And then they say, yeah, but I just need to speak with the business owner. Or they say, I need to just talk with my marketing manager, or I need to talk with my spouse. And now you're leaving all of that great stuff that you were able to uncover, and you got that one person excited. They're going to try and do the same thing to the person that they need to now influence. And that person didn't meet you. They have no relationship, no rapport, have no idea. And they say, oh, you're going to get sold. We don't need that. And that person that you were talking to doesn't know how to handle the objections or the questions, right? So do your best every time you're in a contact situation and you're scheduling an appointment. Say, is there anyone else that you would like to have at this meeting? Is there anyone else that you would appreciate their feedback in our meeting? Is there anyone else that you feel I should hear from in our meeting? That's an important question, right? So in your consultation, in your calls, in your appointments, if you've got all decision makers and influencers present, that means that you're going to have to do less follow-up, right? Because you've got everyone on the same page. And the last one is a big one. It's a big one. It's staying organized. And whether you're using an electronic system, like a third-party app or a software, that's great. If you're using your WebCenter contact manager, great. If you're using pen and paper, great. You're using a spreadsheet, great. A Google Sheet, great. A form, great. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. If you're using your calendar on your phone, great. It doesn't matter. Everyone works a little differently, and they prepare and strategize and organize differently. So right now it's some best practices, and you have to find out what works for you. And we don't have like a CRM system that is going to automatically remind you when to do certain things, because that would be a huge investment for maybe at least 50 to 60% that wouldn't even use it, right? And that's a question that comes up a lot. So I'll tell you, you need to find your system and talk to your coach and see what they do. People might use a file folder. They might use note cards. Might be like a recipe card scenario. Might be Google Sheets. I know we talked to some of the coaches about that, or a spreadsheet. But the idea is that you need to stay organized and keep those notes, because it's going to help keep the relationship going as you're following up. Now, you also, in these notes, want to know where they're in the process. Are they just a contact? Are they a candidate that you've spoken to? Have you done some research? Have you reached out for a consultation? Have you had a consultation? Have you had a website consultation? Have you talked to them about their social media? Have you done a digital marketing consultation? Have they booked an appointment? Have they gone through a demo? Have they gone through a demo and needed to follow up? They wanted to go through a demo and said, follow up in 3 months. What is that timeline look like for every single person? What do they need? What are their needs? Who's handling the follow-up? Is it you? Is it a business partner? Is it, maybe someone through the ABC pattern that you're working through the WebCenter program? Like we said, a WebCenter intern. Maybe it's a product specialist that needs to do the follow-up, right? And you want to make sure that you follow up with whoever's supposed to follow up, right? You need to make sure that they're getting it done and you're kept in the loop. And lastly, create urgency. Sometimes these business owners just need a little bit of a nudge, and that would be maybe the fear of loss or the sense of urgency. And there's various ways that you can do that. One way is just have a marketing campaign, maybe a referral campaign. For every lead that you send in the month of June that closes, I'll give you a free month's worth of your monthly management. Right? We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Maybe it's for anyone that I'm going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and we've got an incredible account manager that's going to take on any of my accounts. So I want to make sure I talk to you this week so that I can hand you off to someone who's going to take really good care of you, right? If you're going away. Maybe it's this month, the month of June, we're offering a $100 credit to landscapers. I'm reaching out. I don't want you to miss out. And I know it's the whole month of June, but I know that you're getting busy, whatever it is, right? So create your own campaigns. You are in business for yourself, so you can create some of this, but the urgency is important. But when we look at the sales professional world, B2B sales, this always amazes me. It amazes me that there's so many people that try once, right? Maybe twice, maybe 3 times, and then they let it go. They move on to the next candidate, and the original contact is never to be reached out to again. Look at this. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So this is not a one call close type of approach. You're not going to contact someone and sell them a website, right? There's no relationship, and you need to follow through. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. So if we look at our process, we've got the initial outreach, the contact for a consultation. That's the second appointment. You're not going to sell a website on that second appointment, but maybe it's only 3%, but there's still a chance, Jason. Yeah, there is, right? How about this? 5% of sales are made on the third contact. Well, guess what happens in our process? That third appointment is what? A website demo or a DMP demo with a product specialist. So now you're increasing the likelihood, but for them, that product demo, guess what? That's still their first appointment. So, if you looked at the world of sales, that's a cold environment for them. They don't know the business owner. The business owner doesn't know them. For them, they're fighting that 2%. But I will tell you that when we run the numbers, right now we average 25% close ratio, meaning for every 4 appointments with a product specialist on a demo appointment, 1 of those will result in a sale. So if you want to sell 2 websites, you need to set 8 website demonstrations, right? That's the math. That's how it works out. So make sure you write your goal statement and your action plan and realize that it is just in the numbers. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. So if in a process, you've contacted them, 1, you've had a consultation with them, 2, you've had a demonstration appointment with them, a product specialist, 3, they might have a follow-up appointment, 4. 10% of sales are going to be made on that fourth contact. Okay. Now, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. My recommendation is to follow up consistently. Turn that into maybe after that demo appointment, maybe you reach out to them and follow up. If their timing's not right, reach out to them in 2 weeks, then reach out to them in another 2 weeks into another month, then once a month until they close. Right? Maybe it turns into once a quarter, right? But you never stop following up. But look at that. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So for those that are uneasy that you're not having any success, you just haven't gone through the numbers yet. That contact that you made that you left a voicemail with, you need to call them again. And then the week after, you need to contact them again. And then maybe you give them 2 to 3 weeks and you contact them again. And then finally, maybe they sit down for a consultation with you, and then you might have to follow up with them again. And then you might have a demo appointment. And this process that we started here in May, anything that you've put into place in May and June, you may not recoup the results until next April or May. And you've got to be willing to do that. And that's why you need to always be adding new candidates, always be reaching out to new contacts, because we can't determine the timing for anyone, right? You might go through a spell where it's no, 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 no. And you're getting discouraged. And then it's yes, yes, yes. 3 in a row. And then it's no, 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 no. And then it's 5 to 6 to 7 yeses. But the idea is that it all came down from that initial contact, right? 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. But most sales professionals, and we're talking professionals, people who have been trained in sales that work for large companies, look at this. 48%, nearly half of them never follow up. They make that one call and it didn't result in anything. They move on. Why is that? Because they have to reach a certain quota and they're getting some pressure from their management to sell. So they're looking, hey, I need a sale. So I'm going to keep contacting people until I get the right one. And they're just going to churn and burn through the numbers, right? You'll talk to any sales professional. They're making 200 to 400 cold calls a week in order to do that. In internet marketing, they're trying to screen through hundreds of online leads to get that one candidate that might be more qualified. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. What do we say? Only 2%, 3% are sold on that second contact. Yet that's what 25% of salespeople do. And look at this, 12% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. Yet that's where 90% of the success is. Yet only 12% are doing it. So be different. If you are in this to win it, then you need to be the one that's different. And your business candidate will recall and remember that. They're going to appreciate that you're being persistent and you're following up. They're going to realize that you are a true professional because that's what they would expect from their own staff, right? Be pleasantly persistent, right? So are you willing to do it for the long haul? So if the product specialist is doing a follow-up on your behalf, then you need to communicate with your product specialist and make sure that you know what your role is. Make sure you're on the same page because you don't want to confuse your prospect. If they're waiting for a call from one of your product specialists and then you call and they've already been in touch with the product specialist and had a question, you don't have the answer, then it's a little bit difficult, right? Use the WebCenter notification notes within your WebCenter dashboard, right? Great place to take notes, or of course, in your own little note taking. So if you're doing your own follow-ups, stay organized. I can't stress that enough. Schedule your follow-up calls. If someone says, hey, call me in about a month, I'm putting it in my calendar. Right now is, the end of May. I'm putting it in my calendar for the 2nd or 3rd week in June to reach out to follow up with them. I might even ask them, and if they say, hey, can you follow up in a month? Or I say, hey, can I follow up in a month? And they say, yeah. You say, what days are usually best for you? What times? And I schedule it as if it's my own appointment. If you don't schedule your follow-ups, they're not going to get done, right? You're going to get busy doing other activities. So you want to make sure that you do that. Pick logical times, right? You don't want to contact a restaurant owner on a Friday night at 7 p.m., right? You might want to ask them, hey, when is the best time for me to reach you? Maybe a salon owner says, well, we're closed on Monday. Say, is that a good day or a bad day? And if they say, no, that's a great day because I don't have any distractions. Monday is a good admin day for me. You want to make sure you ask the next question. Do you want me to call the salon or is there a better number? Because they might be doing their admin from home, but you're calling the salon and the salon's closed and they're not fielding any calls there. So you want to ask those questions. And what that does, it also continues to let them know that you are a true professional, right? And you're a person of your word. Be persistent, but not pushy, right? Don't offer pressure, but be persistent. And you do that just through the act of following up. Respect their timing, right? Know that there's certain times that are going to be better for others. And I'll tell you that if they're getting ready to say, hey, I'd love to meet with you before I head away on vacation, I'll tell you that it's probably best to wait until they return from vacation. So you know what? Let's not bog you down during vacation. I want you to take the R&R you deserve. You don't need to have any of this in your inbox. You don't need to take any of this on vacation with you. You're going to be busy when you get back. So when do you get back? Next Monday? Great. Do you think Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday would be good? Or do you want to push it towards Friday? You know what? How about you call me the beginning of that next week? Great. They've given you permission, and now you're respecting their timing. Now, the first thing you do in that instance is not ask them about their marketing, is to ask them about their vacation. Even if you don't talk anything about business, your goal is to build that trust, that rapport, that credibility, in that relationship, right? Remind them when you contact them and remind them what you're following up about. We spoke, a month ago, and you asked me to follow up with you on your website and your online marketing. or you asked me to talk to you about your search engine optimization, or you knew that you were having a transition period with a contract that was expiring and you wanted to evaluate your options. Oh yeah, okay, now I remember. Right? They've got so much going on that they don't remember. And if you, can't remember without taking notes, chances are they're not going to remember either. So it's important to remind them and plant that seed. Now, from here, you want to make sure that if you do have a client that has purchased anything, you want to stay in touch and you want to support the client. So following up doesn't just stop at the sale. In fact, the work is just beginning. You need to support them through the design process, support them through customer care and sharing some of our resources. You want to just stay in contact with them in general, just saying thank you. Engage them with MA Web Centers. And what do I mean by that? Get them engaged with the Instagram channel, get them engaged with the Facebook channel, get them engaged with the blogs, the YouTube channel, any email newsletters that you send out. Just check in. And of course, stay in contact with them through organization, right? Have it all scheduled. So when you are reaching out, there is professional gratitude, right? Is it an email? Is it a phone call? Is it a shop.com gift card? It doesn't matter what it is, but it should be something, however you are most comfortable. So you want to make sure that you thank your clients. And I think one of the most important things that you can do is a handwritten note. A handwritten note. It goes a long way. Everyone loves to get something in the mail that's not an invoice or a piece of advertising. Okay, so be different. Send a handwritten note. I appreciate you coming on board as a client. I'm looking forward to a long relationship with you. That goes a long way, that handwritten note. So, buy a stack of thank you cards from the website, have it delivered to your doorstep, and then handwrite the notes once you make a sale. It's not going to take a lot of time, but it goes a long way. If you're in person, drop it off for them, right? Have a way, or maybe you have a new client prize or a new prize. Hey, I want to just, stop off and thank you for being a client. I've got a $25 gift card to the local restaurant, or I've got a $25 gift card to a shopping site called shop.com, or whatever it might be. Thank them for their business. Thank you. They can go anywhere for their business, so you should thank them for their business. Edify tech support. Constantly remind them that you are not tech support, but you can connect them with tech support. In fact, you want to do maybe the first time that you reach out to tech support with them on a three-way call. If they call you to ask a question, say, that's a great question. Let's see if we can get tech support on the line. And just stay in touch in general. So what are some things that you can do to stay in touch? How about just offering shareable content, right? Things that you can share in an email or in a conversation or in social media, or maybe have your own blog. What other resources do you have? Well, the marketing manual, the B2B services catalog, the features and benefits guide, right? So many tools, but here's some ideas. What about news about upgrades? Have you reached out to people and let them know about our new Oasis platform? Have you reached out and let them know about some of the new widgets that we've developed and pushed out there? And if you don't know, where do you find that information? Well, the unfranchised blog under the WebCenter category, or the WebCenter blog, MA Web Centers blog, right? Just blog mawebcenters.com. Maybe you found it on social media. Maybe just sharing information about the website climate. There's a lot of things going on right now with the new algorithm with Google, right? The core vitals and how it's going to impact search results. I know we haven't talked about it here much, but it's a real thing. It's happening. It's happening as we speak, right? Maybe specials you're running, a great way to create urgency. We're specializing in helping restaurants this month, 10% off, right? Or, those businesses that close in the month of June will rebate you your first month management fee. And you have that flexibility to do that. How do you rebate them? You write them a check. You Venmo them, you use the Cash App, you give them a gift card, whatever it takes, okay? Let your clients know about a referral campaign. Friends and family, for any of my friends and family that refer me a business that I can have a consultation with that results in a sale, I'm going to buy you a restaurant.com gift card. Or cash is king. I'll give every friend or family member that sends me business that results in a sale, I'm going to give you $100, right? Be creative. You get to make up your own marketing campaigns, and that's your right as an independent unfranchised owner. Share recent design work. We're going to be pushing out a lot of our designs here soon, but look on our blogs, look on the social media sites, and show those things. Edify the teams of professionals. Always testimonials, case studies, reviews. My ask of you is every time that you've got a client that you stay in touch with is to ask them, how is it going? Would you mind writing us a review or writing a testimonial for us? Would you mind, offering us what your website looked like before the project? And maybe you could take some screenshots before we get started, but those before and afters are great. Testimonials, client testimonials are great. I know we actually have a YouTube video. We'll double check that. I know Russell Polo has had a video testimonials from a client. We have had Ray Edmond has a great video testimonial client as well. If they're willing to give a video testimonial, that is incredible. It's great for all of us, right? So let's work together to aggregate some of this and post out your success stories. When you've got a client and you've onboarded them, make a post on the WebCenter support group on Facebook so that we can all leverage that success together. Collectively, every one of our clients is each other's client's success story to share. But all of these tools are really useless without you. And it really is the benefit of having that one-to-one marketing and that relationship, right? You are an integral part of that. So these tools are meant to give you an opportunity to get the conversation started or to keep it going. They're there to help you have effective follow-up. They're really there to be an extension of you, but you still need to be the one doing the consultations, booking the appointments, asking the questions, and building the relationship, right? And that's what you get paid for. And you get paid an incredible amount of retail profit and ongoing business volume for doing so. So what are some other customer manager tips? Once you've made a sale, an email, a call to check in. And if you sold a digital marketing product or a design, it is your responsibility to conduct that design wizard or the DMP forms with them. They're going to be sent an email from MA Web Centers that's going to request a couple pieces of information. One of them is a sales agreement that they need to sign and send back. That's the first thing that will hold up the project. You need to stay on top of that. Right. The second thing is they're getting an email with a link to complete the design wizard or their DMP form so that we can assign a project manager. If those things don't happen, guess what? The project gets stalled and it reflects poorly on you and MA Web Centers. So you want to make sure that you're assisting MA Web Centers in getting that part done. So reach out to the client. Hey, have you received the email? No, I haven't. Check your spam box. Still don't see it. Let me reach out and make sure that it has been sent. Reach out to tech support, reach out to sales support and see if it has been sent and have them resend it. Once it's sent, great. When can we get on the phone and go over this together? Right? Very important. This is exciting. Don't make it like a job and a tedious thing. Say, I'm so excited. We're going to be, gathering information to build out your website. We're so excited. And we want to make sure that the design team has all the information they need to make sure that they give you the best design for your company and your brand online. How soon can we get together and get that done? It should be urgent and it should be important to them if they've invested the money and it's their business, right? So take that seriously. And of course, work with the project managers. Don't try and be the project manager, work with the project managers and let them do their job, but be that liaison, because sometimes they have a hard time getting in touch with your client. Your client may not recognize the Las Vegas phone number. Your client may not answer the email because they don't recognize it or they think it's just junk mail. And that's what's going to happen. They might even get the phone calls and get the voicemails and not return the voicemails, or maybe the voicemail inbox was full. It's your job as a customer manager to stay on top of that process if you want this to be seamless, smooth, and a great result, right? Be sure they schedule a tutorial and overview of their dashboard. So any of those clients that come on board, you want to make sure that they schedule with one of our product specialists an overview. Every client has the right to do that. And I think a lot of people miss that step. You don't have to be the one to do it, but have a product specialist walk them through their new website and the platform and how to use it. A great thing to do, promote their site when it goes live. That's good for the client. It's also good for you, for your friends and family and connections to see that you've got clients that you're onboarding. It might build some curiosity. It might even bring you some leads or referrals. So promote the site when it goes live. Be excited about it. Edify tech support. Again, help them use tech support, right? And I love this one. Send them leads when and if appropriate. If you're out at a barbecue and you hear of someone that is, looking for a new plumber or HVAC professional to put in a new air conditioning unit, and you happen to have a client that you just sold, well, guess what? Hey, can I make a great recommendation? One of my clients that we've just launched does a great job. Can I give you their contact information? Great. Then you also reach out to your client and say, hey, I was just at a barbecue and someone's looking for work. Can I connect you? They're going to be thankful. And then just say, hey, can I connect you in a three-way text? Or if they contact you, it's going to be Jill. Jill's going to be calling you. So just know that I'm sending her your information. But if you do the three-way text, great. Hey, Jill, this is Joe's Plumbing. Joe, meet Jill. She's looking for a new AC unit. I know that you're busy, but I also know that you're doing an incredible job. Just looking to connect you guys. Right? That is a great way to build that referral alliance with your clients. But we know that the world is not perfect. We know that everything doesn't go as planned, right? That wouldn't be reality. So sometimes clients have issues, and that's okay. It's to be expected. So your job is to identify what is the challenge. What is the challenge? And your job as a WebCenter owner is to identify who you can contact to connect them to. Who's the right person? Who's the right department? Again, your job is to just simply connect them to the right person. What should you do? You should empathize with them, but don't draw conclusions. There's two sides to every story. Let them know that you've heard them, acknowledge it, rephrase it, make sure you clarify what they're looking for, and then say, I will have someone look into it as soon as possible. And then you reach out to the appropriate party. That might be MAWebCenters@marketamerica.com. It might be something that we can initiate. You might reach out to MA Web Centers. You might reach out to the project manager. You might reach out to the design team. You might reach out to customer care if it's a billing issue. Maybe their website goes down and they don't know why they can't log in. And you realize that their credit card, maybe their expiration date changed 3 months ago and they've declined billing for 3 months. So eventually they had to shut the site down. They've been calling them to try and resolve it, but your client didn't recognize the number. I thought it was just a collection agency or some kind of car warranty program. So they never answer the phone, right? And then when you connect the dots, the billing department reaches out to your contact and then everything gets resolved and it's fine, okay? So you need to figure out what is the challenge and then who is the right party to reach out to. Now, when you're passing along information for us to research something's not going well, there's a client that is uneasy, don't let it wait. Don't let them fester. Jump on it. It is an urgent matter. I've had WebCenter owners reach out to me and say, yeah, this client's been having an issue for a year. I said, well, you're a year too late. As soon as you find something that is maybe a challenge or a conflict, you need to resolve that immediately. And what you need to do is put it in an email and send it to MAWebCenters@marketamerica.com or myself, and we will research it. We'll get it done. And I'll tell you that for all of the cases that we work with and research, MA Web Centers wants to retain clients. They want to do a great job. They do so much. They give, free months of hosting, free months of, digital marketing products. They push out billing. They add extra design partners. They change designers. They do whatever they can to make sure that it's the best experience for your client. Okay. But we realize that some things happen and all things can be solved through communication. But the first thing you need to do is not try and handle it yourself. You shouldn't try and handle it verbally just on phone calls. You should have it in writing and we will take care of your client and we'll keep you in the loop all of the steps of the way. Okay. So bringing it back down to the basics, you're a web center owner, but you've got teams of professionals that you get to leverage, right? So you need to know which teams we have. We've got the sales team, we've got the design center, we've got technical support, we've got customer care and billing. So your job is really to just connect people. That's your role, is just to simply connect people, be that liaison, and really improve communications. Now, you also, part of that, you need to be clear of your role with your clients and let them know that you're not technical support, you're not a web designer, you're not billing support. However, you can help connect them to those individuals. A great way to do that is in your outbound voicemail message. Sorry, I can't reach the phone right now. If you've got an urgent website issue, make sure that you call 866-WEB-HELP, right? If you've got a billing issue, call 866-WEB-HELP. In your email autoresponders or in your email signature block, right? Your name, your direct line, and for technical support, make sure that you call 866-WEB-HELP, right? If you have that in multiple places, you've got a better shot of making sure that your client is going to the right place. right? Same thing in your personal responses. That's a great question. Let's talk to customer care. Would you like some help with the call, or can you call them directly? Okay. Offload responsibility and delegate to the appropriate parties. So week 4 really is massive follow-up, right? The fortune is in the follow-up. Maybe you do a weekly follow-up on Fridays, follow-up Friday. But week 4, let's follow up on everything that we've done up to this point. The most important follow-up to start with is yourself, right? What can you improve upon over the past 3 weeks or these 4 weeks? What can you do better, and where can you focus, right? In fact, there's a great book by Gary Keller called The One Thing. What is the one thing that which by I do, everything will get easier or is insignificant, right? What's the one thing I can do? How about following up with your candidate list, right? Are you adding names to it? Where are they? Have you done any research? Follow up with your contacts. Maybe you left some messages. Maybe you told them that you'd call them back. Maybe you sent some emails. Maybe you dropped off some information. Maybe you sent a video. Follow up with your contacts that you've made. Follow up with your consultations. Anyone that you've consulted with over the course of the year, right? Reach out. We actually had some success stories from last week. We actually had someone who sold 3 websites last week, a huge payday for them, but it was all based on following up on some referrals that were given to them over the year. And follow up with your clients, right? Stay in touch with them and see how things are going. We're entering a new season, right? Summer months are upon us. The world is kind of shifting right now. It's a great excuse or reason to reach out to people. And of course, submit your weekly accountability report. We're going to continue this and make sure that we're holding people accountable to what they need to do on a weekly basis. And of course, stay in touch with your coaches and myself. Let us know how we can help. We'd love to hear the success stories. We'd love to hear the challenges and ways that we can support you. But if we don't hear from you, we don't know that you need help. So again, a great time right now. We've gone through the basics. We've gone through making sure that you're scheduled, that you've got a goal and a goal statement, that you've made a candidate list, that you've done your research, that you've contacted them. You know how to handle objections, questions, voicemails, and now how to follow up. You've got everything in your toolbox to succeed. Now it's just time to go out there and do it. So looking forward to hearing some success stories as we move forward into the next month of the WebCenter All-In Accountability Program.